What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
I think he can hear you, Ray.
Don't move. It won't hurt you.
I feel the need for speed. Ow! Oh,
See you later, alligator.
He just said he wanted to phone home.
Right here. Stop.
What happened? Are you okay?
He slimed me.
You remind me of the babe. Babe with the power.
It's getting hot in here, or is it just me?
No, go past this part. In fact, never play this again.
Round of applause to all of us.
Like you're patting yourself on the back just a little early.
I mean, it's great. I love it. I love that clip. It's a great clip to show appreciation to what we do.
What do we do?
Not much. We just reviewed silly old movies from our past, and we have a fun one tonight. A really fun one.
This is your pick.
Yeah, back to school, Billy Madison. This. I literally watched this an hour before showtime, and it is one of the most quoted movies I have ever done in my life. I forgot them all, but then I remembered them as I was watching them. I do remember a lot.
Sing the song.
Oh, back to school. I don't know all the words yet. I don't remember them all.
Come on, let's hear your impression of it.
Back to school, back to school.
To prove to Dad I'm not a fool.
I got my boots on tight. And then the bus drives by him because he looks like a creepy adult.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite Adam Sandler movies. Can't wait to talk about it. How about you?
Well, I feel like we've been waiting on this for such a long time to talk about it. But yeah, this one's fun. I don't think this is my favorite. There's a couple other ones I think I like a little bit better than this. But this is a really fun movie to watch with a group of friends. You know, this is...
Yep.
You're going to like just laugh at everything together and quote everything. This is like a really good group movie.
This movie introduced me to that SNL group with Chris Farley, David Spade. I know David Spade's not in the movie, but this movie introduced me to that group of actors and
Well, that
comedians.
group was definitely like the bad boys of SNL.
Yeah, and
I remember seeing previews for this, and I didn't see it in the theater though.
yeah. This also introduced me to Norm Macdonald, which I thought was hilarious. So I knew who Adam Sandler was, but I didn't know who all these people were. And then when I watched this one, I was like, oh yeah, this is my kind of humor. Especially at the age I was. I probably shouldn't have been watching this, but it was still a great fun movie to watch with your friends. So I totally agree with that. Now, Adam Sandler, this is like one of his earlier films. And he he did Airheads before this, but he wasn't the star. And then he did this one where he was, and then he did Happy Gilmore. So
I hope this isn't in my trivia, but there are 3 people from Airheads in this movie.
there are. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Some people get that mistaken. They think Airheads came after, but no, it
was
before.
before.
Before. So so anyways, this movie is ridiculous, by the way, to all kinds of levels. But before we get into it, welcome everyone. Thanks for coming to the channel. This is After the Weekend, so if you are new, good to see you. I think we both got haircuts for this movie.
Yes, I got all my hairs cut for this movie.
Awesome. Looks good, by the way.
Well, thank you.
I'm
like Adam Sandler. I only do one style.
You only do one. Well, I mean,
like Adam Sandler's had the same haircut since he was on SNL. He's always got the buzz cut.
He had the fro there for a while.
Yeah, but for like a very short amount of time. I mean, he's typically had that haircut. Then again, you've had the same haircut as long as I've known you.
Probably. Let's see. Let's see who popped in today. So Miss R2theICKY, has she seen this movie? What does she think of this movie?
She's seen this movie. We didn't watch it together though. On this viewing,
my wife literally does not like this movie.
Oh, I mean, she's seen it. I don't know if it's like a favorite of hers or not.
She enjoys some of the moments. One moment she really enjoys is the today Junior, but the rest of the movie she thinks is so ridiculous. And the fact that I have quoted this movie thousands of times while drinking at parties with my friends in my early 20s with her, this is guaranteed annoyance.
Yeah, I almost thought about letting little Spidey watch this, but I didn't.
PG-13, oddly enough. So, Miss Martin Muse, good to see you. Hey, gang, have a good show. From Ro. Yeah, we did a little for him on Instagram. You can follow us on Instagram too. After the Weekend podcast, we did a little skit with him where he steps on some poo.
And on it's on Twitter too.
Yeah. He we always try to play tricks on Ro, and he got a little upset, so it's okay. You can watch that on Instagram.
All right.
But yeah, let's see who else is here in the chat. We've got Nicole. Good to see you.
We got Nerdy Neo.
Yeah, Bird of Liberty. Beard of Liberty.
It's better than Bread of Liberty.
Nerdy Neo says, I say Dumb and Dumber is the most cool. It depends when you grew up. This movie was up there. This movie was in my high school. It was this movie, Night of the Roxbury, and I believe Dirty Work. That was it. Those were the 3 movies that the teachers were like, "What are you saying?" Let's see. Yeah, Bird and Beard of Liberty. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, sorry. I clicked the button when somebody else is clicking the button.
I'm still wiping my shoe, says Ro. He called it poo.
It's poop again.
Shut up, devil woman. But no, this is a fun movie. Thanks for everyone showing up. Again, this is after the weekend. Like I said, we review old movies. This month we're doing Back to School, and we did Back to School, and The Breakfast Club. So.
Yeah, we're gonna have a fourth film, and then we realized that we didn't stream on Labor Day, and so we'll have to probably save that for another time.
Yeah, we kind of messed that one up.
Yeah,
sorry about
that. No Dead Poet Society. That'll
Move this man!
Yeah. Anywho, let's go ahead and get started. You like clicking buttons when I'm clicking buttons. It's okay. You can click it. Hey, look, put up a little. Hey,
thanks for coming by.
You
Science Fictionary.
Yeah, another Red 5 channel member here. So yeah, Billy Madison. So what is Billy Madison all about? So Billy Madison, he's kind of like a male Hilton. He he's the son of a
He's a Milton?
A Milton, yes. He's the son of the CEO or owner of Madison Hotels. And so that's his father. He's the son. He should be inheriting it, but he's kind of not all there. He's a little wacky. He steals shirts from Frank. But he talks to shampoo.
Well, he's got to essentially be a child in his adulthood.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And most of the time is because his father pretty much paid his way through school. So he said, I didn't want you to fail, so I just paid the teachers so that way they would pass you. And that's how he was able to get through school. So he never really learned. He just partied all the time, had friends that partied all the time. We'll talk about those friends here in a second. And then you have the other group of men, who wants to take over the business because he thinks he's smarter, and he's sabotaging his going back to school attempt. So we'll get into why and what he did when he got to school. But that's basically Billy Madison is like an heir to a very wealthy hotel chain in America. So I would compare this to the Hiltons. Yeah, right? What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, that would probably be the best example.
Oh yeah, and we all know what they did. They did crazy stuff too. So, but they didn't go back to school.
I'm trying to think of what was that show that she did with her friend.
Oh, they weren't. I don't remember the name, but
was it like I almost said, wasn't it like From Rags to Bitches? But wasn't it?
It was Rags to Riches. It was they went to the country.
Yeah.
Well, it could also have been.
I am so excited about Star Wars.
That's probably what some of the boys in the small towns that they got sent to said.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, they were. They did a similar thing, but so that was the concept of the movie. He's trying to tell his father that he can run this business by basically going back to school, and he has to go to each grade for like 2 weeks.
Well,
literally kindergarten through 12th grade.
But it's funny if his dad was going to give the company to the other guy that he liked, would he have done any of this? I mean, he only did this because he hated the guy that his dad was picking. Yeah, Eric.
Well, he had another guy that he liked, and that's Frank.
That's what I mean. If it was Carl over Eric,
I think deep down, he loves his son, and he really wanted to give this to him. He wanted
the Simple Life. That's what it was called.
Okay, we were totally off on that one.
I like Rags to Bitches better.
Yeah, that one's good. Adam Sandler had such an amazing run in that. Yeah, he did. This is where it kind of kicked off. This one and then Happy Gilmore. Happy Gilmore was his big hit. I think Happy Gilmore was the one that like people could watch that movie and understand what was going on. This movie, you really had to understand some of his humor. I mean, it was basically an SNL skit. In some areas. So, my older brother got me into Adam Sandler and Chris Farley movies. That's good. He's a good older
I was
brother
going to
then.
say what Science Fictionary said too. Yeah, I mean, Adam Sandler was definitely one of the kings of the 90s with comedy.
Mm-hmm.
But then it seemed like he just really doubled down on a lot of his humor.
In this one?
No. Like the 2000s. And it didn't work out very well.
Yeah, he's good here, I think. He's kind of like Jim Carrey. He's good when he does stuff like this.
Yeah.
So these are his friends. Like I said, he hung out with he just basically partied. So he graduated high school, the real way or the other way. And then he basically hangs out with Norm Macdonald here, and they go around dropping poop on doorsteps that are on fire, and they just hang out in the pool all day. So this is basically what he's been doing for the last 10 years. He graduated high school 10 years ago, and this is why his dad's like, look, if you're going to take over this company, you have to prove me that you want it. You have to go to school because you are literally just talking gibberish. One of those.
Yeah, I remember watching that as a kid, and I'm like, what's going on?
Oh yeah, it happens till this day. You'll still watch it. You'll be like, what? Even though you've watched it before, but it's just Adam Sandler. You're like, what? Oh yeah, I remember this scene.
I don't know if that's me or you, but you sound really weird. I might have to back out and come back in.
I sound really weird. Do I sound okay, everyone?
Yeah. Do either one of us sound strange?
You don't sound strange.
Okay.
Do I sound like a robot?
You do sound like a robot.
Well, I don't know why.
Something on my end. All right, I'm going to be right back.
Move
Well,
this man!
so he dropped out and all the slides went away. Look at that. That's pretty funny. That's interesting. All right, so let's get back here. Let's see. So yeah, this is the song. So he has to go back to school. Let's see. Adam Sandler, Jim Carrey, David Spade, Chris Farley, etc. Definitely golden age. Yeah, they were the. I would say they were the last great SNL group, and I really mean that. And I know there's the Will Ferrell group and everything. There were some that were great in that group, and in this group here, I think they were the best. Besides the originals, I think they were literally the best. Because you did have a lot of great. I mean, and you can watch a lot of their skits on YouTube, by the way. So here's the school song, back to school, to prove my dad I'm not a fool. I got my lunch packed up, my boots tied tight, and I hope I don't get in a fight. Oh, back to school. I think he's back now. Are you back?
I am. I think my other earbuds I was using, I think they're dying.
Oh, well, you're back to After the Weekend. You're back to After the Weekend to prove my son I'm not a fool. I'm back to After the Weekend.
Okay.
Let's see. Now that song is going to be stuck in my head for the next few days. Oh yeah, good. I like that. It's a good song to have stuck in your head. Now there's the song I was going to tell them. I was telling them that this is the song that we were trying to quote.
Yeah, earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was basically saying I think the group that mostly in this movie, so like Chris Farley, Norm Macdonald, a few others, the group on SNL was probably, I think, besides the original cast, is probably one of the best. 100% on that being the last great SNL cast. You've had a few cast members here and there since then, but not a full cast that was loaded. But they also had competition with Mad. Yeah, they did, and that's why they had to really step it up. And I think they were just geniuses. If you think about Norm Macdonald and you think about Adam Sandler and David Spade and Chris Farley, they didn't look like geniuses, but they were comedic geniuses. I would definitely say. So even the ladies on that show, I mean, it was like the whole cast was pretty wild, pretty good. Can you sing this song now since I had to?
Nope.
Okay. Well, all right. So here is basically the cast. We'll go over here this real quick, and let's kind of go over some other funny things about the movie. So yeah, Adam Sandler, and then you had, oddly enough, Bridget Wilson Sampras. She married Pete Sampras. Was Veronica Vaughn, the love interest in this movie. And then you had this little kid, and I thought he did more movies, but I guess he didn't. And a lot of people thought he was
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. No, he was it. Oh man, I totally spaced it. But a lot of people thought he was a relative of one of the actors, but he's not. He's just a kid, and yeah, he hasn't done a whole lot, and he was fun. I thought he was a good kid actor, and he was just a basic kid, like, why.
Yeah.
And then you have the dad from one of your favorite movies. I think it was not it's not your favorite
Story.
Yeah, Christmas Story. I think that's one of your favorite movies. Darren McGavin.
Fragile.
Yeah, so he's in this. And then you have the secondary cast. You have Bradley Whitford. He's Eric. He's the evil businessman trying to take over. Then you have, I don't know if this guy's still alive. I can't remember. Josh Mostel is still around. Norm Macdonald, obviously, he has passed away. And then you have Frank Larry Hankin, or Carl, sorry, Larry Hankin as Carl. And then one of my favorite actors too is Steve Buscemi, which he was also in Airheads, and Chris Farley. So with the bus driver. And Steve Buscemi was only in this movie for like the total of 5 minutes. There's a scene where he calls him, or Adam Sandler calls Steve Buscemi's character and says, "Hey, I'm sorry I picked on you in high school. I feel really bad about it." And then Steve goes, "Hey, cool, thanks. Yeah, no problem. Appreciate it." And he turns around and crosses out Billy Madison's name on a list that says people to kill.
Well, I was gonna say, like, that friendship has always been like odd. Like, I don't know like where they met.
Hollywood.
I know, but I mean, like, it wasn't that like Steve Buscemi was doing SNL at that point. I mean, I guess from Airheads then, right? I mean, that was the first thing that they did, and they must have just
maybe
hit it off very, very well, because he always popped up in his films afterwards and really oddball characters.
Yeah, and I think people who work with Adam Sandler, they work with him a lot more. Like, they work with him in the future.
Mm-hmm.
But even Norm Macdonald liked working with him. I think he's just fun to be on set with. I think he makes good movies. He's fun, and I think people just enjoy being around him. Where it's not like I'll never make a movie with this guy again type of deal. And that's when you get like the movies that he does with all his friends, right? With Chris Rock and a couple others. So yeah, good cast, good fun cast. And you are right. I'll take one of your fun facts away. Adam Sandler, Steve Buscemi, and Chris Farley are all in Airheads.
Yep. Well, I was gonna say Bradley Whitford, who plays Eric, like, really gave it his all in this film too.
Oh yeah, he's great. He's great. He's fun.
And he was not a fan of being in this film.
Really? That's interesting. Even after the fact?
I believe so. Even after the fact, yeah.
Well, he did show his balls. So, all right, never mind. We'll hide that there. We're gonna do the numbers, everybody. I'm a little off today. That's all it is. So the numbers. This film, I guess, was filmed in 1994, June through August. So not a very long filming session.
No.
And It was released in 95 in February.
I'll throw out one other detail. It was filmed in Canada.
With Sasquatch?
Fun, somebody stole all our lunches.
I'll tell you who took those lunches. That damn Sasquatch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No.
Yeah. I was gonna say, well, just bear in mind this movie had a lot of CG going on in it, so I'm sure it had a pretty big budget.
It had a car go off a cliff. Mm-hmm. It was very CGI'd.
Yeah.
I think every kid was fake, to be honest. So everyone, this is when you start commenting, what you think the budget and the box office is. You can't leave a sandwich unattended around cannoli. No, you cannot. He will eat it.
I was I didn't have time to do it, but the entire time when I saw this scene, I was like, I really wanted to edit together the scene from Kindergarten Cop where Arnold Schwarzenegger is asking the kids, "Who is your daddy and what does he do?"
Yeah. Beard says 30 million budget and 100 million. I'm gonna say lower, dude. I'm gonna say 10 million, and maybe it made 50 million. So
Well, he said uninformed, shot in the dark. So where's Nicole? Nicole always
yeah, Nicole's really good at these.
I know.
Yeah. Beard just maybe he's on his A game today. Maybe it wasn't. It did rain over here in East Texas, so maybe he didn't do any yard cutting. She says 8 million budget.
Okay.
Waiting on the box office here. 10 million budget, 1580, 10 million. And we got Nicole is
Who's
making
talking
herself,
in the third person.
Nicole is making herself an apple cider mimosa. Ooh, that sounds really good, actually. I'm going to have. I was going to guess 10, but the last few times I've guessed I was way off. Oh, okay. 70 box office. All right, so here we go.
Okay.
So it was 10 million. Seabeard, you would have been right. 20 million net today. 26 million in the box office and 50 today. So some people were right, or some people were close, very close.
Well, it was. I mean, it made back its budget, but it was a box office bomb.
Well, I would say yes, because like we said earlier, this movie, you have to be an Adam Sandler fan. You have to know some of his stuff to even go see this movie.
This made, where this found its audience was like pay-per-view and
VHS.
and rentals. Yeah, and rentals. Because I want to say when I saw this, I think I was in a hotel and we watched it on pay-per-view at the hotel. We had nothing to watch, and
you know what happens on hotels a lot. Was it pay-per you bought them on there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That was like how people used to watch movies in hotels. Now they bring in their own devices.
Yeah.
Did it become bigger after it was released on VHS?
Yeah. I mean that.
That's what she said?
This deserves one more time.
That's what she said.
Yes.
Yeah. This was something that this was a it found its success on home video.
I swear everyone was talking about this all the time.
Well, I think again that comes from once it was out on video and people were renting it, because one, I think this didn't have a lot of marketing to it. I mean, I remember it seeing previews for it, but it was one of those where I think
I
a lot
owned
of
it
people
for a while.
didn't know what to expect out of it, and then once it came out on home video, everybody was watching it.
So I wonder why people. We should probably review Happy Gilmore. I wonder why people flocked to Happy Gilmore more than this movie. And they're only a year apart.
Well, I think because of after this came out, then with Happy Gilmore, there was a little bit more momentum, and people wanted to.
And he was
like,
on SNL more.
Well, no, he had left.
That's
left
right.
at this point. All those guys essentially left around 94, 95.
They didn't leave. They got fired.
Well, some of them left. Some of them got fired. Norm Macdonald was still on SNL.
They got murdered. They got eaten.
But well, and I mean, the other kind of difference though too is it's a plot as a guy who's a hockey player becomes a golfer, as opposed to
it's a sports movie. More people
Yeah.
are going to go to a sports movie than I guess a school movie.
Yeah,
I would say. All right, cool. There we go. So like I said, he goes through each of the grades, and they highlight. I guess this is kindergarten, right? They highlight kindergarten is the first one where he's literally like towering over these kids, and he gets their kind of humor a little bit. He beats them in dodgeball. He eats paste. His teacher's a little off, a little weird, as you can see, but he gets in the kindergarten here, and he's gradually going in, and this is when he first he thinks he's all fun still. He's still just having fun. He's not real serious about it because he's in kindergarten.
Well, it can't be that tough. It's kindergarten.
I don't know. I asked my wife when I was watching this, what would happen if you went back to school? Like what? And you did it like this. Like what would happen? And I think you would realize kindergarten was like kind of fun, but kind of just organized chaos.
Yeah. I mean, it's still like daycare at that point. Did you eat paste when you were a kid?
No.
I feel like Beard.
I think Beard did. He was a pasty eater. Yeah. So yeah, here's a picture of him in the the kindergarten class where he's just literally.
Yeah, those kids all look like way older than kindergartners, so I don't know why.
They probably are, but they do look like 90s kids, right? Like 90s kids always look like they got some weird like outfits. They're not really usually matched. They've got like they all got weird haircuts. This is what we look like.
So he wasn't eating paste, he was huffing chalk dust.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, he's hanging out in first grade here. And that's always fun. Then he moves in, like they do like a jump, like they do like a montage of him going through first grade, second grade, and then he hits where this movie really takes off, and I believe this is third grade.
Yeah.
And then he's already got a crush on Miss Vaughn. And this is where he really gets to understand why he's doing this. Like he's kind of like, oh, I gotta I make friends here. He makes friends with these kids. He makes friends with the teacher. He's starting to understand the importance of it because she is not letting him just move on, right? She's trying to challenge him with like writing cursive. And some of the funniest movie moments in this movie are from this grade right here. So, what are you hearting on?
I think he's hearting on Veronica Vaughn.
Oh, not this.
I love you. You love me.
Oh.
Probably not.
Oh, okay. He's probably like let's see here. But yeah, this is where, he really, this is where all the great, I think most of the great scenes come from, are here. What did you think of his third grade experience?
I agree with you. I mean, with the kids being older, he can interact with them a bit more. And like you said, I mean, he does. He kind of starts it off right with being a a smart ass. And then, as he makes friends and he gets challenged and he starts to take it a little bit more serious. The story definitely changes a lot more.
Yeah. Nerdy Neo. Yes. This clip.
Oh my God, that is funny.
Yeah, that's a little later in the movie, but yeah, it's in this movie. And this is where he makes friendships with the kid next to him there, and he basically he like takes him to he like invites him to his house like to hang out like after school and stuff. It's very weird, but it's funny.
Yeah, well every time he graduates a grade, he has a party.
Oh yeah, we're gonna definitely go over those. But yeah, he does have a party every time he graduates. And this is when he meets the principal that really likes him. When he meets Principal Max Anderson, and he's got a shady past that we'll get into later. But here's the parties. Yeah, every time he graduates, he has a party, and he invites all the kids from that grade, not just in the class, but that grade to the party. So kindergarten invites them, first grade, on and on. So by the time he's in third grade and he graduates there, it's quite the party. He's got games they can play. He's got a rock band. He's got food, a sad clown that dies. But yeah, it's hilarious. I think that would have been awesome, right? To have a birthday party every time you graduated a grade.
Yeah. I mean, who wouldn't want a party?
So I'm guessing you didn't have one of those. No. Okay.
No.
Yeah, I didn't either. And also in third grade is where he, like I said, he becomes friends with that. Where we get one of our famous quotes here was, "If peeing your pants is cool, then consider me Miles Davis." And this is where Veronica Vaughn really like starts like warming up to him too. He basically says this. I think his name's Eddie, right? His name's Eddie. He pees his pants, and as anyone remembers, if you peed your pants in school, that was pretty embarrassing. You didn't want your friends to know that you did that, but he pees his pants on a field trip, and Adam Sandler basically throws water on his pants. It's like, everyone who's my age is so cool, they pee their pants.
Well,
and then all the kids are like, really? And like everyone in that third grade class at the field trip literally pee their pants.
I was like, oh God, the smell on that bus.
Yeah, but it's a heartwarming moment, right?
No, I know. I'm like, afterwards, though, as they're getting on the bus, I'm like, oh, like, that's the worst.
Yeah, I can see a lot of people going, whoa. But yeah, I always love that scene because it's funny and gross, but it's also, you can tell that he's sincere in what he did because he liked Eddie, and he didn't want to see Eddie get picked on. And he's just like, this is basically, because probably maybe he'd been there. Maybe he did it when he was a kid. I don't know. But you can buy a T-shirt of this line if you wanted to. So now we're going to talk about in the theaters. So before we move on to some of the other grades, we'll go there. So this movie came out, like I said, with some good movies there on the list.
Yeah.
Someone's already mentioned Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
That's funny. Just one of the many reasons those buses had vinyl seats.
Yeah.
Well, if you lived in Arizona, they were horrible because it would get so hot in that bus that you would stick to them and they would burn your legs. Oh yeah, it was horrible. It was horrible. Let's see, Dumb and Dumber, Pulp Fiction, another great one. The Jerky Boys, I remember that one. That was always fun.
What happened to those guys? They were like,
oh, you know?
No, what happened to
them? They work at like T-Mobile now.
Yeah.
Well, you can't really prank call anybody anymore.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like that was like one of like the biggest things was the Jerky Boys. I remember I always wanted to get their CDs. My parents would never let me get them.
Oh yeah, they have CDs. They had VHS. So that movie was funny. That movie actually was pretty funny.
Street Fighters on there.
Yeah, Legends of the Fall, and then this movie came out at the same time as The Quick and the Dead. So they both did. That's a good movie, but they both did the same type of dollar amount. If you look there,
Yeah, I mean there was only a $170,000 difference.
Mm-hmm. So if Quick and the Dead wasn't in the theaters, that I think this would be number one. So good movies there. Good fun movies. And Pulp
That's
Fiction.
another movie that I want to say. I think it did not last very long in the box office at number one. The Quick and the Dead.
Yeah, I would say so. But Pulp Fiction was like on week 12 or something, like right? No, what? 18 weeks. Mm-hmm. And everyone liked that movie. So, but
Miles Davis is a famous jazz trumpeter.
Okay, Neo, you have to know these things.
It's what hipsters listen to.
Yeah, he was a jazz musician, and he was very cool.
Yeah,
that's why the old lady was saying, "I'm Miles Davis."
I mean, I remember always hearing he was cool. I never knew anybody that listened to Miles Davis.
Yeah, mm-hmm. And he was a cool guy. That's why she said it. That's why it was gross, because she pees her pants a lot.
Well, listening to Miles Davis.
Yeah. So basically, he goes to high school. They do like another montage type of thing of all the grade schools that he goes through. He jumps through all the. He does better. He like actually starts learning things. He actually wants to try to actually pass, and then he gets to high school where everyone just kind of picks on him, and he can't do it anymore. He's just done. And then they find out that I'm not going to ruin too much of it, but they find there's Eric, the one that doesn't want him to succeed, sabotages the whole thing. So then he has to do like a contest to win
a decathlon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he has to basically, do all the necessary things that you would probably learn through all the grades, like cooking, math. And it's also another montage, but it's a fun montage. There's some funny moments in it, like when he's baking the pie and he's like laughing at him because Eric caught it on fire and then he's on fire, so burning dog poo and human response. Yeah, that's that. These are like some of the categories. So this is at the end, so where there's a tiebreaker, right? And they have to answer these, or this is final round. They have to answer these questions. And some of them are on here. If you notice, some of them are pretty funny. You have to really watch the full movie to get a lot of them. Yeah. The principal of the high school, his wife like cheated on him, so he has a lot of things that say like my wife's sleeping around.
I think at the bottom it says I married a common whore.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. But they basically he wins this contest because Eric literally flips out and tries to shoot everybody.
Well, he also too, I forget what it is. He's got I think it's like the American Industrial Revolution, and he's like he's got to like explain it, and he compares it to a book that his kindergarten teacher read.
Yeah, and he just rambles on, and it's like that's where you get the meme of everyone is in the room is dumber.
Version of that clip.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
I wish we could play the whole one. Yeah,
there was a lot of times I would say that in actual class to people who would answer dumb questions. Hey, good to see you. Sorry, I'm late.
I can't think of his name right now, but that guy was a writer on SNL, and occasionally would appear in like skits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he wins that contest. He graduates. He does inherit the company, but then he hands it off to actually one of his friends of the company that he really likes and isn't mean to him or never was, and that's Carl.
Yeah.
And then he also the love affair blossoms with him, with Veronica, and she really helps him get through all this. She does a thing where if he answered all these questions, and she kind of does a striptease. And then you have Chris Farley at the end also doing the striptease for him too, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah. You get to see somebody's chi-chis, but not who you want to see.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Sometimes I love a flaccid weekend though. Just...
but yeah, so basically he does graduate. He does get through it all.
Hey, Isaac.
Hey, Isaac. Good to see you. But you have some fun facts for this movie, and then we have some bonus content. That's why we're kind of flying through this. There's some bonus stuff in this movie that we do have to definitely talk about. But you do have some fun facts, so we'll go ahead and do those first. Whoa! Yeah. Look at all these fun facts.
There's 2 pages too, by the way.
Oh my gosh! Get ready, people.
I know. Adam Sandler said the title character, Billy, is the closest thing he's come to playing himself.
I would believe that. Yeah. He's a little crazy. Well, at that time, he was a little.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess, apparently Billy Madison is just Adam Sandler, at least Adam Sandler then. I'm sure he's a little bit more mature now. Bradley Whitford never actually saw the film after it was released, but according to his brother, people would often shout business ethics. It's to his character, who was challenged to discuss that subject.
I'm sure he hated that. That's probably why he doesn't.
That's what I mean. He did this movie, and then I think he really regretted it, but that's kind of funny, just that people yelled at him. Director Tamara Davis' assistant posed as one of the drunk chicks on the cover of the magazine.
Oh yeah, the Nudie Magazine Day. Nudie Magazine Day. Nudie Magazine Day.
I don't know which one, but one of those, the 2 on there was the director's assistant. During the dodgeball scene, Adam Sandler hit the kids as hard as he could. And then the editor would cut before the kids started crying.
Yeah, he really pelted them. He
Oh yeah, he did. I kind of wondered. I'm like, is that a real ball, or is it like a foam one? And then they just added the sound in it.
Oh yeah, I don't know. He really hit him because you can hear it go boom.
Yeah. And it seemed like some kids laughed, but I think they laughed and then it just hurt. They couldn't help it. During the school bus scene, Chris Farley turning bright red in aggravation was improvised, and he did that by chugging espresso. So weird. That's how he would kind of keep the manic energy that he did, and that was a common thing he did on.
Are you sure it was espresso and not something else?
Well, that's what he says. It may have been espresso with something that was not sugar. Norm Macdonald was drunk in the scenes where his character is wasted.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the students mentions the video game Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Later that year, Bridget Wilson would go on to play Sonya Blade.
She did.
In Mortal Kombat.
Mm-hmm.
And at 650 hotels, Mr. Madison owns more than Hilton, Marriott, or Radisson. I don't think that's combined, but
when it depends on when you got that stat. That would be it depends on when you got that stat. Where that stat came from.
I got that stat 3 days ago.
Well, whoever got that stat depends on where that.
I mean, now is that combined?
I would tell you that's an incorrect number.
Higher or lower?
I would. It can't be. It's not. If it was combined, it would be a lot more.
Gotcha. Then I'm assuming individual, but I don't know when that was.
I work in the hotel biz, so I know these things.
So now the next one is just some casting trivia.
Okay.
So
you may have to come back and edit that stat for the hotel things. You should have asked me about that one.
Oh,
I don't think that's right.
I'm sorry. Actors offered considered for the role of Eric Gordon, or it was originally written for Bob Odenkirk. So if anybody's watched Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul, that is Saul, the title character, who was a writer on SNL. Philip Seymour Hoffman, who did audition for it, and they really liked him, but then he changed his mind, but later regretted it. Jim Carrey, Mike Myers, Dana Carvey, Phil Hartman, Tim Robbins, and Dennis Hopper, though, were all either offered or considered for the role.
I think Bradley did a good job.
Yeah, I think he did too. I mean, he really gave it his all, I felt like. Actors considered for the role of Bryan Madison, so Billy's dad, Charles Bronson, Leslie Nielsen, who he turned it down because he didn't care for the humor in the movie, Dustin Hoffman, Richard Dreyfuss, and Jack Nicholson, who Adam Sandler would go on to do Anger Management with.
Yep.
Actors considered for the role of Carl were Edward Herman, who that's the grandfather on the Gilmore Girls, and he was the he played Richie Rich's dad. Harry, Michael Richards, which is funny because the guy who played Carl played Kramer on Seinfeld for the pilot episode.
Yeah, he
Robin
did.
Chase, Steve Martin, and Bill Murray. Which some of these actors, if you look at them, like this would have been a very different film if they had gotten a few.
They probably wouldn't have done a lot of the jokes that they did. I think he got the group. The group he had was good for the jokes. I think they were on board.
They were. People considered for the role of Max Anderson, John Candy, who it was wow.
One website is saying that Hilton currently has 5,000. Yes, that is true. That is true. Build of Liberty. Wow, I cannot get your name right today. You got Build of Liberty, Beard of Liberty, and
Liberty,
Bread and Bird.
Yeah, they truly. Adam Sandler wanted John Candy. He unfortunately passed away. Glenn Shaddix, who was Otho in Beetlejuice, and Wayne Knight as well. And then Jack, who was the other friend of Billy, he intended his best friend Alan Covert to play him, but the studio said no. For Frank, David Spade was also considered, and for Veronica Vaughn, Marissa Tomei, who he also went on to work with in Anger Management.
Yeah, that's a good one. Anger Management is a good one.
Yeah.
Bird, bread, build, beard. Say that 10 times fast. All kinds of liberty. Yeah, I love it.
Next, you're going to call him Bald of Liberty.
Yeah. I forgot to play this clip, though, when we were talking about high school.
Helps a chloroplast. No, I will not make out with you. Did you hear that? This girl wants to make out with me in the middle of class?
He shows up to high school. It is Trans Am.
Yeah, we forgot to mention that. He shows up in
Sticks.
Ario, because he's
Ario
10 years ago. Yeah, so it was like 80, right?
Yeah, like in denim jacket. Well, I'm assuming probably
85,
like mid to late 80s.
Yeah.
So
we have another character that it's like a side story to this whole movie. There's two of them. And the first one is
You're out! Doyle rules!
So Doyle rules. It's a side little gag on the movie. I'm not sure who came up with this. Someone obviously had a bully that probably went around yelling their name.
Or a family of bullies.
Yeah, or a family of all the cool kids. Yeah, we said that already. Are you one of those cool kids, Farnsworth? So this is the first grade O'Doyle. This is when he first meets him, and he's a ginger snap kid with just likes to pick on people, and he's like the king of dodgeball. He takes them out, and you also have the kid in the background back there with the bowl cut where his mom is like too hot to be a mom, and she like rubs like mucus on her, the mucus lady.
Yeah, that's
her name. I think is actually in the credits.
Mucus Mom.
The Mucus Mom. Mm-hmm. So you have the so Farnsworth says definitely. Okay, cool. That's great. You know who thinks that's great? And that's So then he gets into third grade, and it's like this is third grade. This is the third grade O'Doyle.
That kid
Look
looks
how much
like
bigger
It's
he
like
is.
massive.
Got another O'Doyle rules kid here, and he's just taking charge of the class when the steps. See, this is 90s kids again. What is that kid wearing? Overalls with like a stripe. He looks like, I don't know. He looks like
There's a lot of Oshkosh Pagosh going on.
he doesn't. I don't know. I don't get it. So you have the third grade O'Doyle, and then you have the ninth grade O'Doyle, and he's the one that really picks on Adam Sandler. He pours some yellow sauce on his head and
Oatmeal,
and he does this. They all do the.
Beard says third grade O'Doyle has been held back many times.
Yeah, I think they all have. To be honest, I think they all have been held back. Actually, the funny thing about this clip is that jersey number 12. I think at this time that's not Tom Brady's jersey from the Michigan Wolverines, but it's funny that.
Oh yeah, that's right. He did play for Michigan. That is Michigan colors.
Yeah, and I think Adam Sandler's good friends with Tom Brady, but it's not. He was probably in high school at this time when this movie came out. But yeah, that's the ninth grade O'Doyle. And then you have the 12th grade one. There's 4. And he looks
that guy's like 28.
Again,
he's as
more
old as Billy.
More 90s fashion with the grunge look. But yeah, but they all did the. And is this a time where he walks by and because Adam's just like done with it all, and he says, "I think you guys are in for a not too good end."
All I gotta say is though, like, what's up with the girl and like the right there and like the red flannel?
She's cool, man. She's cool. I don't know. They're in a movie. What do you expect? Dude has a montage but no diploma.
A mortgage.
Oh, mortgage. Oh my gosh. Mortgage. Jesus, please. Oh my God.
Fool this man!
I've had a long weekend.
I hate when I got one of those montages to deal with.
I know. Dude has a mortgage but no diploma. Yep. Now they also have a father.
Father O'Doyle.
Father O'Doyle literally looks, and they're chanting.
Surprised you didn't say Daddy O'Doyle.
I could have. But they're literally chanting the name O'Doyle while they're driving down the road, and they're all doing it in their station wagon. I think even the mom is chanting it. Chicks in flannel are the best. Okay, cool. I mean, it was a thing of the 90s. This is something you did. So yeah, they're driving down the road. And they show this banana over time because this is the banana peel that Chris Farley throws out of the bus when he's eating it while he's driving, and it just sits here and rots. And this is like the last scene you see with it. So they're just too busy chanting their name. He slips on a banana peel when his car wipes out, goes off the cliff, and they're still chanting O'Doyle rules as they're literally flying off the cliff
to their death.
And I think this is probably the most the scene with the most special effects. And there's all
I
four.
I like the special effect that you added there at the end.
Oh. They're just chanting as they're dying. You don't see an explosion, but you do hear it. So there you go.
They're just thrilled they don't have to deal with their montage anymore.
That's the yeah. And I'm sure the whole town of wherever this is.
You're out! Doyle rule!
Doyle got Mario Karted. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So that's basically that. And then we have another character that kind of shows up and doesn't quite. It only happens at certain times of the movie. I think it's when he's drunk.
It's too damn hot for a penguin to be just walking around here.
So he sees a penguin when he's completely hammered. He sees him in the beginning of the movie where he's driving around in his go-kart, just destroying the yard. He's hammered. You see the penguin in Veronica Vaughn's apartment because Adam is drunk again, and he thinks he's cheating on her with. He thinks Veronica's cheating on the penguin. And then at the very end of the movie, you see Chris Farley and the penguin having a very special moment.
Yeah, a very. I feel like that was like very much zoomed in shot.
Like, I think there's a version out there where you see the full scene, but who knows?
Yeah, yeah. What's going on with that flipper?
Yeah, you see a scene where Chris Farley and this reminds me of the scene in Happy Gilmore where Chris Farley is with the beer or the beer jugs or something, where he has those dreams where he's sitting on the couch. I don't think Chris Farley's in it, but where he sees grandma with the
it's Adam Sandler. He's
Happy Gilmore, yeah. Yeah. These dream scenes.
It's I was gonna say it's the girl he likes has the pictures of beer.
Yeah, and grandma's like hanging out on a white piano with
Gene Simmons mask.
Yeah. But this is the penguin. He also, it's another side. Where does he come from? But basically that is it. So before we wrap it up here, final thoughts. What do you think of this movie?
Oh, it's fun. I mean, like I said, if you haven't seen it, you gotta watch it. But it's best to watch it with a group of friends.
It really is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because there's moments where you'll pause it and laugh and go back with your friends. Like you'll watch it, like, what? Did you see that? Did you miss it? There's a lot of like little things that you'll miss. You have to watch it a couple times. There's a lot of things that just randomly happen in the background. You're like the kid, he's all excited. He's like sitting on the sprinkler, and then Adam Sandler comes in after the fact and does it too.
Yeah.
Then you have like Adam Sandler's friend is like soaking this kid with a hose at the birthday party and just laughing at him. There's like stuff like that all the time. There's like all kinds of mayhem to look out for. It's a very random Adam Sandler movie, but it's fun. Yeah. It's a fun movie. I would definitely agree with you. Yes, I've seen Dirty Work. You missed that. I told R2 in the chat that when I was in high school, one of the top 3 quoted movies in my little group was Dirty Work, this movie, Billy Madison, and Night of the Roxbury. So,
Emilio.
I know, right? Just ridiculous. But yeah, it's a fun movie. Definitely go watch it if you have not seen it. Especially you young folks that may not know all the fun stuff that Adam Sandler used to do. So in the 90s. You'll get addicted though, because you'll watch this movie, you'll watch Happy Gilmore, you'll watch Wedding Planner, you'll watch
Big Daddy.
I mean, you'll get addicted. All those movies are very good movies that he did in the 90s. All right, cool. Before we head out, though, we want to pitch our shirts and hoodies. All right, cool. So we have some shirts and hoodies here. You can find them on mixtees.com after the weekend -logo. Take 20% off with the code ATW20. It's going to get colder out there, so make sure you go get a hoodie and rep the 2 coolest guys on YouTube. No?
Who's that?
Oh, okay.
Lord Vader, the fleet has moved out to flight speed and we're preparing to...
You have failed me for the last time, Admiral. Captain Piet.
Yes, my lord.
Make ready to land our troops beyond their energy field, then deploy the fleet so that nothing gets off the system. You are in command now, Admiral Piet.
Thank you, Lord Vader.
Yeah, you were supposed to pick that up, but you didn't. That's okay. So anyways, let us know how if you watch it after the reviewing, if you haven't seen it before, let us know what you think. Come back, comment. You can message us. We've gotten Beer to watch a lot of these movies that he haven't seen ever, and he really likes them. So
we have to tell everybody about Ferris Bueller again, Beard.
yeah. Hopefully he's seen this one. If you haven't seen this one, Beard, you should watch it. I think it's on Amazon Prime at the moment. But yeah, it's a fun Adam Sandler movie. All right. What else are we doing? So we have October coming up. Since we're not going to do our other back to school, that might come out later. But what are we doing for October, Rick?
Well, we're kicking it off with next Monday. We're going to be reviewing Big Trouble in Little China. We did this once before.
It's a re-review.
It's a re-review, yeah. When it was me and Maria, and I was dying to review this, and then when the day came, I was sick. So wanted to review this again. And we've got the Inside All Day podcast joining us, Nadia and Chris. So we're really looking forward to that. That's going to be fun. We're also going to be reviewing in October Ghostbusters, Evolution, and The Burbs.
We're going to try to.
Yeah. Well, there's 5 Mondays, but we got 4 films lined up. We might do a 5th one. We haven't fully decided yet, but those are the 4 we have planned.
5 Mondays, folks, in October.
Yeah.
That means you get to maybe see us 5 times.
Yeah. And this Saturday, we've got Weekend Harder again. And we are trying to get a guest for that. So we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you got going on Wednesday?
So Wednesday right now, the plan is I'm going to have my guest on, like always, and it will be Jock Nerdy. Some of you have seen him, heard him on our show. So he's coming on. I'm not sure what we're talking about yet. I got to figure that out, but that's the plan. So you come check us out. And last week, I did a special episode. It was on Tuesday instead of Wednesday with Vader, which we had a great time. So if you haven't had a chance to check that out, you can definitely go over there at Late Night with Cap and go see
a special accommodating episode.
Yeah, it was my 50th episode too, and I 2 days later I got 400 subs, and yeah, it was fun. It was a fun show. So good times.
Very cool. Yeah, that was a good show.
Yeah, usually I didn't know it was 50 though, and then when I put it in, I was like, oh, it is the 50th episode. So I don't know what episode are we on right now.
This is 65th.
Oh, I was kind of hoping it was 69. I knew I'd be like, yeah, 69. All right, everyone. Have a good one. See you later, and we'll check you out.
Good night.